morning, good afternoon, good evening. Here is Professor Lumumba. He has become the conscience of Africa. When he speaks, it's a pity that some of us just listen to him and forget. I think when he speaks, we should listen and we should think about it and reflect on it, on what he has said, and ask ourselves, what the hell are we doing about it? Here he is speaking about African leaders and the intelligentsia.
With 90% unemployment, when you see Eritreans, when you see all the Sudanese or the Malians or the Gambians going to Europe and America, it is not because they like it. If there were conditions that were suitable in Africa, they would struggle at home. Yes. But when you hear a young person say, he'd rather die at sea than to remain at home, that is not human. The human nature is self-preservation. When a human being says that, there must be something so grave at home, something so dehumanizing. That is what African leaders sometimes do not know. When I see them in limousines and in private jets, with motorcades, I say, these men, not all of them, these men, who are they? Where did they come from? That they are so insensitive, that they go to countries and receive 21 gun salutes, and their people are dying at home. Who are they? Are their hearts made of stone? Do they have eyes and they do not see, ears and they do not hear? Are their consciences so seared? I ask. And many Africans ask, even in their silence. But we cannot keep quiet.
He's absolutely right. I think one of the things that one has to ask is how many Zimbabweans do you know, the so-called intelligentsia, who have condemned Zanu PF's madness over these last 45 years? To be quite honest, if I was to answer that question, I'll probably be able to count them on one hand. And the counter to that question would be how many Zimbabweans intelligentsia have fallen over themselves in their mad rush to work for Zanu PF. Both Robert Mugabe and Mnangagwa have never had any problem recruiting Zimbabwe's intelligentsia to work for the regime. If they were deaf and blind to what the regime was doing before their appointment, they may just as well have their eyes gouged out. Because now all of a sudden, they've often become the biggest defender of the regime. I remember when Professor Ngube, Zimbabwe's Minister of Finance, was appointed soon after the 2018 elections. He passed through London and he was asked a pertinent question at the time. Did Zanu PF rig the 2018 elections? It is amazing how all of a sudden he didn't know what free, fair, and credible elections are. A man of his intellect. He did not know what constitutes free, fair, and credible elections. Because as far as he was concerned, the elections were free, fair, and credible. That is what has become of Zimbabwe's intelligentsia. Zimbabwe is a failed state. It has got enormous natural resources, enormous potential. I think before independence, I would have said it has got a lot of gifted Black Zimbabweans. But now, 45 years after independence, with the country up to its eyeballs in its own mess, I have to be honest. There is nothing to show or to prove that we have got a lot of gifted Black Zimbabweans out there. Nothing. Are we a cursed nation? Well, if you look at the sorry state of the nation, yes, we are a cursed nation. But I'll go one step further and say we are not a cursed nation, but rather we've cursed ourselves.